I deleted my morning routine and I tripled my output. A few years ago, every productivity bro was spewing the same lie. 5 a.m. cold plunge, 45 minutes of meditation, get your journaling on, have the perfect, ideal breakfast. But here's a different way to look at it that is glaringly obvious that does not work. You just burned 3 hours of peak mental bandwidth on preparing to use that same mental bandwidth for the work that you are wanting to do and prepare for. You are starting your day with a disadvantage. You might know this as decision fatigue, and it's terrible for your day and for your business. By 9 a.m., you will have made 147 plus micro decisions that are burning through your mental bandwidth. It's the small stuff too. What playlist should I choose for my music today? Or which breakfast should I make? Or all of these little things. Should I wear this shirt or that shirt? And it's just burning through mental energy that you only have a finite amount of. Your brain glucose is depleted before you've started work. But I found something that works a lot better, at least for me it does, and it's a lot more counterintuitive than you might think. So I'm going to show you the 3 thieves that steal your focus in the morning, as well as my anti-routine morning that sounds insane, but it actually works really well. And one exception that gives you a net positive in the morning. So this isn't theory, this isn't ChatGPT. I have done this for 10 months straight, and I can say without a doubt it is highly effective. It just makes you feel like you're getting ahead of everyone else before the day started. All right, thief number 1, the shiny dopamine rectangle. When people call the phone a distraction, that actually downplays what it's really doing. When you get a notification or you open up your phone to the World Wide Web, it hijacks your neurochemistry to divert your attention onto what other people are wanting you to think about. So if you scroll through Reels or you scroll through YouTube Shorts, you get a quick dopamine hit, but that disadvantages you when it comes to start working because work now feels harder. So at this point, your ability to get into flow state is very diminished. 2, decision fatigue. Every little tiny micro decision that you're making in the morning reduces your ability to be a force during the day. The stuff like, what song should I pick? Maybe I should change my computer background. Or, oh, what did I have to do later today? Oh man, I got 20 notifications while I was asleep. Let me check them all. You're basically starting your workday at, 77% of what you could have been. And by this point, it's probably only about 8 a.m. in the morning and you're already shot. All right, the third one is a really big one for me that has destroyed most of my productivity over the years, and that is context switching. Jumping from this fully planned out morning routine into the work itself is a massive context switch. When you cease working on one context and begin a new context, you're having to shut down the previous neural pathways that you had open and open up new ones. And that process can take 15 to 30 minutes. It's not a quick, I'll just change my focus from this one to that one. It takes a while. And so you literally start your work unfocused. All right, let's get into the anti-routine morning. It's what I do instead. It's boring, but it's absurdly simple, and that's what makes it work. 1, systemize your phone to be non-existent in the morning. You've heard so many people say this, but when you start your day, don't get on your phone. If you're tired and you feel like you need some stimulation, go to bed earlier. I know that's not always an option, but often it's a choice that we make just to go to bed late and get less sleep. One of the biggest pushbacks I get is that people say they use their phone as their alarm. Good. Systemize your phone, set your phone to grayscale, set the automation where the blue light is constantly turned off in the morning, keep your do not disturb on, set one alarm, and turn your brightness down all the way. That way, when you get up and you just go to the alarm app and you turn off your alarm, you've had 0 information input from the device, and you don't have any light messing with your circadian rhythm right off the bat. All right, 2, this one's my favorite part. It's way too simple. For 20 minutes, don't do anything. Nothing. No music, no podcast, no Instagram Reels. That one's an obvious one. But just let your brain accept the reality of the day. Let your brain accept that it's awake now and it's conscious again. Often I like to go outside if it's not freezing outside and go for a walk. This part is the most uncomfortable part. Your brain is actively seeking stimulation, but if you resist it, that's when it starts working. Because when you go to get into flow state, your mind is uncomfortable. It's not getting the stimulation it needs. And so the work becomes the most stimulating thing of the day. The previous steps were what you shouldn't do. This step is what you can do. When you wake up after sleeping, your brain is severely dehydrated. That means you start the day with about 30% less cognitive ability. Drink water with electrolytes when you wake up. It will help. I guarantee it. If you want to take this one step further, pair it with nootropics or find an electrolyte and nootropic drink mix that has both of them in one. Drinking this during the first 20 minutes of the day really gears up your neurochemistry to be able to help you get into a deeper work. The drink mix of electrolytes and nootropics I use is actually my own blend. So I made this to help me stay focused in the morning for longer. I don't drink it every morning. I've found that the mornings I do drink it, I tend to be a little bit more focused. I have a little bit more of an edge. So it's definitely a step in the right direction. The link to my electrolyte focus powder is in the description below if you want to level up your mornings. But the bottom line is drink electrolytes, get some water in your system, ideally with minerals involved, because if not, you're less optimized going into work than you could have been. Step 4, get to work within 30 minutes of waking up. When you wake up, your subconscious is already processing a lot. And so if you go to work too early, your mind becomes absorbed with the work a little too much and it can ruin the rest of your day in the latter part. But if you wait too long, you burn through all that subconscious processing power early enough in the day that you don't have any left over for work. So I found the sweet spot's about 30 minutes after I wake up, not an hour, not 3 hours. And it's meant to decrease the amount of mental waste that you run through before you start work. So there's one exception. There's one thing that I'll do maybe not often enough that does actually help, even though it is information input into your brain. When I can, reading some form of philosophy, scripture, or reviewing a form of a long-term vision. This is not a productivity hack. It pulls you out of your day-to-day and it pulls you into a much bigger frame of mind. It pulls you into something bigger than yourself. And sometimes that's needed to be able to go back into the work that you're about to do from a higher thought process. Because if you're just maximizing efficiency for efficiency's sake, it's meaningless. And so you're just maximizing meaninglessness in your life. And we don't want to do that. That's not a good thing. So let's recap the old morning. Wake up at 5:30, 45-minute routine, 30-minute breakfast, 15-minute meditation, 30-minute planning, and you start work at 8:30 a.m. and you're exhausted. The new morning routine is when you wake up at 5:30 a.m., you have a 20-minute void, whether it's going on a walk, doing meditating, or doing nothing. You read for a few minutes, you get your electrolytes in, and you start work at 6 a.m., and you are locked in and ready to go. For me personally, I found that I typically get everything that I need to get done for the day done by noon, when before it would take me till the end of the day. So I noticed I finish the meaningful work earlier in the day, and that leaves my brain lots of time to process for the next day. You can keep doing the morning routine of maximizing your miracle morning, but our brains don't have the same amount of processing as AI data centers do. That's very finite and it's very limited amount of energy that we actually have every single morning. And so it would be worth your time to focus on getting into flow state a lot faster and doing so in a meaningful way that doesn't take away from your mental bandwidth. This is not about becoming a productivity monk. It's about owning your thoughts and behaviors and not letting other people control you. Because every minute you're preparing to do the thing isn't actually doing the thing. It's preparing to do it, but the work is what matters. So it's stupidly simple. It requires less of you, and it takes only about 30 minutes every morning. Essentially, it's that you wake up, feed your soul, feed your mind, and get to work. Try this tomorrow. If you reduce the amount of decision fatigue within the first few hours of your day, you're more likely to get into flow state faster. You got this. I hope this helps you build the business that you want to build and be able to make more meaningful progress in your life. Peace.